The quaint little cobblestone path that sits on the outskirts of my village is beautiful at first glance. Shadow shrouded and nestled in an assortment of trees and shrubbery, with birds chirping and leaves stirring. It seems the perfect place for an afternoon stroll. At least, that's what I told myself the day I decided to defy my parents and go exploring. What I didn't count on is my 5-year-old sister Mahi following me. My name is Joshi. I'm 14 years old, and I did a stupid thing, a monumentally stupid thing that may never be undone. Yes, I'd been warned, but didn't listen. Neither of us listened, and as a result, my parents have very probably lost both their children. The path is to my village what the Bermuda Triangle is to the Western world. The myths may or may not be true, but the premonitions are passed from generation to generation as an eerie reminder to remain vigilant. Every time tragedy strikes, the folklore is there, larger than life, lingering in the minds of the people. I couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that this wouldn't end well as I turned off the main road. I won't go too far, I told myself when I began my trek along the rustic cobblestone path. But I was soon lost in the beauty and serenity of the forbidden forest. I can't be sure how long I'd been mindlessly schlepping along before I heard Mahi's mousy little voice call after me. "Joshi, I'm scared, and I want to go home." In that moment, the spell that had taken hold of me was broken, and I was suddenly overcome by an urgency to get back to the main road. As I watched the sun slowly dip behind the trees, the village elder's words of warning rode over and over in my mind. Never go down the path. Avoid it at all costs. Don't even pass by it after dark. There's an evil there that does not sleep. That's when I realized that the decision to defy my parents had not only put my life in danger, but also the life of my kid sister. I was terrified. What would I tell my parents if something happened to her? The fact that we were quickly burning daylight didn't bother me too much at first, because I figured all we had to do was turn around and go back the way we'd come. It seemed simple enough at the time, but when we turned to go back the way we'd come, the path was no longer there. I grabbed hold of Mahi's hand and we ran until we couldn't run anymore, searching frantically, but we could not find the path. The sky quickly changed from a burnt orange to an ashen gloom and ultimately pitch black. Without the moon or stars to guide us, we're trapped in the middle of the dark forest, and no one knows where we've gone. "Surely our parents and the rest of the villagers are looking for us," I mumbled, in a lame attempt to assure myself and my sister. But deep down, I know that they're never going to find us. If the words of the old witch doctor who lived on the outskirts of our village more than 100 years ago are true, we're in a cursed place from which there is no return. They called him the Ancient of Days. He was the village healer, a medicine man that everyone trusted to make them well again when they fell ill. He lived an isolated but peaceful life until the day that the wife of one of the elders fell ill and died, despite the old man's desperate attempts to save her. The entire village blamed him for her death. They turned on him and burned him at the stake. But he didn't go quietly. He repeatedly proclaimed his innocence, cursed them all, and swore that their children and children's children would pay for their folly as the flames devoured him. Since that day, every family in our village has suffered the loss of one or all of their children somewhere along that path on the outskirts of the village. Some of them believe to this day that the spirit of that old man still lingers in the forest with a thirst for vengeance, taking advantage of every opportunity to make good on his promise. Is it true? Only time will tell. We've been wandering around for days now, and there's still no sign of the path. But we cannot give up. We have to believe that one day we'll be found. In the meantime, we're alive in here, trapped in limbo, with nothing to cling to but the hope that our village will never stop searching for us.